Hey everybody, check this out. HTC U11 is in the house. Yes, I got one. This is a Sprint version for the US, not the unlocked model. I believe that's coming later to me at some point. I really hope. But it's exciting. I'm back at doing 1080p live videos. I was using the YouTube app for a while because it's a little more convenient, but it turns out it doesn't do 1080p, and more importantly, this one does. If you have a good connection, it works. Otherwise, it's a complete disaster. But even the YouTube app isn't really that great if you have a bad connection. It does scale down a bit more gracefully, but not too much. So I know you're dying to see this. Look at how thin this box is. Not bad. You get the label down here. Really a bunch of specs here in the back. You know, all the things. So remember, this is the flagship from HTC for this year, and it's only available in the US on Sprint and in unlocked otherwise. So are you guys ready? You ready? Are you ready? Come on. Somebody needs to say something. Dun 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 dun. Woohoo! Boom! Look at that. So we got a quick charge 3 compatible charger. It's the same one as the HTC 10 last year. I can tell this because I've got it and it's exactly the same. Well, mine is white, so this is a black one. Or actually, it's kind of a gunmetal gray color, right? USB Type A, US prong. I'm not going to take the wrapper off, but as you know, this is a USB Type C phone. So it does have a Type C cord right here. You can see Type C down there at the end. Of course, Type A to connect into your laptop or into your desktop or into whatever it is you have, your car, and of course, the charger. So it's nice. I like it when it's Type A to Type C personally. And then here's the Type C. You can see it in there. Again, I'm not going to take these out. I'm probably not going to use this because I already have a Quick Charge 3 compatible charger. Then there's these new earbuds. Now, this is very controversial. As you can see, very USB Type-C, right? Of course, as you know, this phone, the 11, as well as the U Ultra, which I also have, as well as the HTC 10 Evo, which is called the Bolt in the US. All three of these phones have no headphone jack and come in bundle with earbuds with USB Type-C. But, and by the way, these are the replacement and different size ear cushions. But the 10 Evo and aka Bolt, and the U Ultra and the those two have headphones, earphones that are adjust to your ear canal. They play some frequencies and kind of measure the size of your ear, the shape of your ear canal, and adjust accordingly. Now, in my opinion, it makes no difference. It doesn't sound better. But then again, you're talking to somebody who's a bit of an audiophile when it comes to earphones and headphones and earbuds. And so this just doesn't do it for me. The sound quality is just not good enough. Now, the reason I'm giving you all this preamble is because these, one with the U11, only the ones with the U11, have been further improved by adding noise cancellation. So they have microphones in them, and because this is all going through USB-C as a USB basically device, digital device, and it's powered by the USB port, they can have active electronics in these. So the idea is really sound, right? But honestly, ironically, pun intended, I guess, it doesn't sound that good to me. Now, I haven't tried these new ones with active noise cancellation, but I tell you, the old ones weren't that great. So I'll be focusing on what the experience is like on these, and I'll be trying these out. Let's continue, shall we? Let's see, is there anything under here? Nope, nothing. It's just a little divider. And then, of course, there's the phone, which, as you see from the front, just looks like a phone, but from the back, oh, shiny blue. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to actually take this off in a second, but I want to show you what's in the box. So, got a little divider here. And then, oh, what's this? So yeah, look at that. There is a little case, translucent case, like the U Ultra. This is a fingerprint magnet, this phone. So they're including a case to protect it from, because the back is glass, but also more importantly to like make it less fingerprint prone. I appreciate that, and I'm not a huge case user, but I will use this case. And then what we have here, we have a bunch of paperwork and a SIM removal tool. There you go. It shows you where the SIM slot is, very conveniently on top, just like the U Ultra, by the way. Ooh, a chamois, very nice. And then, as you can see, this is how you know it's a Sprint unit. There has not been any branding on the phone or the box so far, other than the barcode. And you know each Sprint device right here. So, and this is supposedly a Sprint device that supports gigabit LTE on Sprint's network, in the probably for the 10 people that have that network capability, because Snapdragon 835, which has a built-in X16 radio, which supports gigabit LTE. And gigabit is not going to get 1,000 megabits per second, but you're going to get 300 to 400 megabits per second sustained, which is really amazing. I've experienced that before. T-Mobile's rolling that out as well. The other phone that supports it is a Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. So important information. Who cares? Now, we have a warning. The warning says, place this label on Wi-Fi calling. I have no idea what this is about. Who cares? Okay, so now this part, the reason I waited last for this dongle is because it's really important. And I'll explain to you why it's really important. Because it is USB Type-C to headphone adapter, because the phone does not have a headphone jack. Right. But more importantly, this is necessary because all previous HTC phones without a headphone jack, meaning the Bolt / Evo 10 or 10 Evo, the U Ultra, neither of those had a freaking adapter in the box. That was a real hassle for somebody like me who has all their own headphones and earbuds that are kind of all legacy, and some of them are up to 20, 30 years old. I want this bad. So I really appreciate HTC you doing this, even though I don't appreciate you not including a headphone jack on the device itself. There's another thing I want to take the opportunity to talk about. I have not talked about this at length yet, except for maybe on my podcast, because it needs to be said. HTC is the only company in the world to exclude the headphone jack, but not support analog audio output from the USB Type-C. Moto with the Z and Le Eco with the Le Pro 3 and Le Pro 2 in other markets in the US has no headphone jack and has USB Type-C, but they have analog support. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is Intel, when they created USB Type-C, basically created two standards for connecting an adapter if you don't have a headphone jack. One is analog and one is digital. The digital one makes sense, right? It's a USB port. So you plug, for example, these headphones in here, and what you get is power goes in, inside is a USB controller. The USB controller says to the phone, hey, I'm a music device, I'm a sound card. And it adds a sound card device, and then inside of here is some circuitry with a DSP and a digital to analog converter and a headphone amp. All this in that little plug right here. Or maybe it's inside the buds. Now, that's a lot of electronics, right? That's also what Apple's doing with their Lightning adapter. Lightning adapter has all this electronic stuff in it. Well, the Moto Z, all of them except the Play, and the Leico Le Pro 3, which don't have a headphone jack, do support analog audio on the USB-C, which means you can plug an adapter that looks like that, but really all it is a piece of wire. The digital to analog converter and the headphone amp are inside the phone, and when you plug the adapter in, you get like a couple of pins that say to the phone, hey, I'm just an adapter, and then it sends the audio out as analog through the USB-C to the right pins, and it comes out the headphone jack. That's what Moto is doing. That's what Le Eco are doing. When I got the Bolt, the HTC 10 Evo, and I confirmed this with the U Ultra, that functionality was disabled for some reason. So you needed to use a digital interface. You needed to use an active interface. And so you couldn't use the Moto Z's adapter, and you couldn't use the Le Eco's adapter with the HTC phone for audio, for headphone adapter. And that really vexed me because it means that we now have multiple standards of adapters on USB Type-C. It's kind of insane. So this adapter is going to be very valuable because it's a digital adapter. It's a full-on active adapter. It appears as a USB sound card. So when I plug it into here, it'll work on this phone, it'll work on all the other HTC phones, and it should work on any phone that supports USB sound cards over Type-C. So that means the Moto Z, the Eco Pro 3, the My Pixel, maybe it'll sound better through this than the built-in headphone jack. Now I have some options. Very, very interesting. Thanks for staying on for this little rant. It's really important for me to explain this to you. If you're into audio, you know HTC traditionally has been very, very bent on audio, so I wanted to make sure you knew about this. All right, I know you're all waiting for this to happen, so let's go ahead and remove it from its little prison of plastic here. If I can catch this, sorry, my fingernails are not super long. There we go. And I'm hoping I can just slide it out at this point, but it's very tight. No, I'm gonna have to undo it. I'm afraid this requires some more peeling of labels. And you know how much I love peeling. Here we go, you ready? Oh, no, that's my phone vibrating. Oh, that was a good sound. Okay, look at this shiny. I don't even want to touch it. Look at how shiny this is. Insane. Let's see if I can put it down. There we go, without touching it. Good luck. Okay, I want to touch it by the edges. There we go. So the front, let me remove the box. The front looks pretty boring, actually. You can see the fingerprint reader here and the front-facing camera and the earphone, and that's it. Dusty already. And of course, the back is super sexy. I'm gonna have to remove the sticker. But look, even me trying not to touch it, I already have fingerprints on it. This is an autofocus nightmare. I hope that my recording camera can focus. It looks like it can, but holy crap. You can see the phone I'm using. You can see the strap that's holding it into the tripod. You can see my face behind here. Yeah. All right, so let's turn it on. And let's do a quick walk around before I wrap this up. Boom. HTC, powered by Android. So again, this is a 16:9 screen, not a super wide screen like we saw on the G6 and the Galaxy S8 Plus. LTE Plus, U, HTC U. It went dark. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. It's back. And welcome. So this is a beautiful screen. It's a 5.5-inch display. It's 2K. So, you know, standard 2K display, like pretty high res, pretty normal for a flagship today.
TalkBack provides audio feedback.
And TalkBack is trying to talk to me, so I'm just gonna dismiss it and get a little close and personal so you can see the beauty of this display. Maybe I'll go back so that you can see the viewing angles. It's not bad. It's Super LCD 5, so it's an IPS panel. All right, I'm gonna go back in here because it's gonna talk. All right, so quick tour. I'm sure there's some sensors behind here, but right now there's the earpiece, and then, oh, you can see the sensors right there. This looks like a microphone to me. And then we've got the front-facing camera. It's a 16-megapixel ultra pixel camera. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's the same camera that's in the front of the U Ultra. So a bit vexing because this year it loses the optical image stabilization that it had last year, which made it a really awesome selfie video camera. I mean, it's not really necessary to have OIS on the front camera, but the HTC 10 was the first phone to ever do it, and they removed it on the U11, sadly. So just be aware of that. At the bottom here, you've got the fingerprint reader, and it's not lighting up, but there is actually two capacitive buttons on each side here, the back button and the recent app buttons. And then, of course, the home button is also the capacitive fingerprint reader. And in the back, we have a dual LED flash. Notice there's no more laser autofocus, but there is the same, well, it's an improved camera sensor. It's a 12 megapixel, I believe, and it's large pixels, dual pixel autofocus like the Galaxy S8 and S7. I think it's f/1.8. 1.8. So I mean, it's a freaking delightful camera. OIS, of course, autofocus. This should be a really good camera. It's I don't believe in DxO Mark. I think it's a load of bullshit. But it's got the best DxO Mark score so far, which again, I don't fucking care, but there it is. So HTC logo, camera, lots of camera. Let's show you the sides, which are probably full of fingerprints right now. You have a power lock key, which is Ridge, which is lovely. It's a metal button. Volume rocker here. Nothing else on the left side. At the bottom, you have a speaker cavity. You have the USB Type-C port. I'm not quite sure what this is, but there's another microphone, probably the primary mic. You can see these antenna bands. Again, this is machined aluminum anodized blue and blue glass, I believe Gorilla Glass 5. There's another mic here, and a mic on top. So that's 3 mics so far. There's supposedly 4, so I'm trying to find them all. On the right-hand side, you see there's absolutely nothing, just an antenna band. Really cool. It's right there. Look at it. And then on top, of course, oh yeah, there's the 4th mic. So there's the SIM slot, which is also micro SD slot. And there you go. We've done the tour of the whole thing. So I think there's 4 mics total. That's right, there's one in the front. So the reason for that is actually this supports audio zoom when you do video recording, which is a kind of a cool feature, and it uses those 4 mics to do some clever DSPing to get really good audio recording during video. I'll have to put that through its paces. I'm going to be reviewing this phone for Chip Chick, so please tune on to Chip Chick in a few days when I get around to finishing that review, because I just got it out of the box, so I need to get cracking here. Very interesting. Like, as much as this is not a edge-to-edge display like the Galaxy S8, you can see how it has the same kind of taper on the aluminum going inward on both sides. Very, very cool. I'm discovering this as I'm talking to you, just so you know. So that's it. That's the HTC U11 in a nutshell. Now, notice that from the front, it's very nondescript, just a black slab of glass. I mean, it's beautiful. It seemed thinner to me than last year's HTC 10. I'm digging it. I'll be honest. This is a beautiful phone. I love this beautiful hue. It's impossible for the camera to make it justice. It is really amazing. So there you have it, guys. The HTC U11 unboxing with a bit of a rant in the middle, because you know me, I have to rant about the headphone jack situation on USB-C. But this adapter is going to be awesome. One last thing I wanted to say. As you know, I've rekindled my podcast. It is now weekly, and it's actually supported by a big podcasting network called World Podcasts. So if you love my rants and you like to hear what I have to say, what I'm using, what I'm playing with, in addition to the occasional unboxing videos you're seeing here on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the podcast. Visit the following URL. It's mobiletechpodcast.com. mobiletechpodcast.com. There's opportunities to subscribe there. Grab the RSS feed, put that in your favorite podcast app. If you look at my Twitter feed, at one point I posted the Pocket Casts shortened URL. But remember, with Pocket Casts, you can just paste the RSS feed and it'll work. Of course, it's in iTunes if you search for it. I believe you can also search for my handle, Tank Girl, to find it. Remember, there's also my old podcast on iTunes, so make sure you get the new one. It's weekly. Tune in. We talk about phones with guests like other journalists that I know and that are friends, and sometimes I have some important executives from other companies. And then we talk about anything mobile, really. So phones mostly, laptops, tablets, watches, anything. There you go. HTC U11 unboxing live here on YouTube. Get your fix. Keep an eye on my Twitter for more live videos. I'm going to do 2 more today, so stay tuned for those. Like this, dislike this, but whatever you do, subscribe, okay, guys? And tell your friends, tell them about the podcast, tell them about these videos. All right, cheers, everybody. Bye.